everyone, I'm Cole from the Kingdom. Today we are talking about our just general feelings about Veilguard. I'm joined here with...
I'm Darth
Down,
Shadie Lavalon.
down from
I'm
Prison Wolf.
Yep. And I am Lady Sulevin.
So this is the fourth in a kind of four-channel collab. You don't need to watch the previous parts to understand this.
Oh,
Yeah, they're all trash. Ignore them.
No, they're good. They're good. Absolutely go show these fine people some love. Um, so, yeah, let's talk about our general feelings about Dragon Age the Veilguard. So there's been a lot of information released in a short time, and not everybody is happy with it. For me personally, I think it looks great. I mean, there are certain decisions I'm surprised by, but all in all, I am so excited to get into it. What do you guys think?
How's
yeah.
it called? The Veilguard.
I still think it should have been called Eclipse, but it got eclipsed by Star Wars. And there's an eclipse in the trailer. There was an eclipse in the previous logo. And I know I'm not the only one who thinks this. So,
I like it.
yeah. But the Veilguard, considering the amount of times I kept saying Dreadful instead of Dreadwolf, I'm happy with the Veilguard.
The name is fine. It's just that I don't, for some reason, like the Veilguard annoys me. I'm like, why just take out the D for some
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
A lot of us have been saying that,
Yeah.
but they wanted it to be like the Avengers.
Yeah, but Dragon Age Veilguard. I get the Veilguard. I understand we are the Veilguard, but Dragon Age Veilguard. I still
Yeah,
call
we
it
were
Dav,
We were also the Inquisition.
Yeah.
but it was
So,
Dragon
yeah.
Age Inquisition. Yeah.
Mhm.
Dragon Age The Origins. Dragon Age
Oh.
The 2.
Also, the
The
abbreviation makes it very annoying. The abbreviation makes it annoying because I'm like, do I have to put DATV and everything now? And that just seems odd.
Yeah, I think most
Just
people have been doing DAV.
Yeah,
I know, but I'm just like,
I go DAV.
I like Dave.
Dav or Dave, yeah.
So one of the biggest complaints, I guess, or reservations I've seen people talk about is the combat system. Now, for me, I've been very vocal about my... It's not exactly a dislike of the combat systems in previous games, but I just feel like it never matched. It feels like there's a wall between the narrative and the combat, and I think it should be a lot more fluid, and that's what Veilguard looks like to me.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
also hear that despite the few quick slots that we can access the whole ability wheel, if
Mhm.
I understood correctly from Fellasan on Tumblr had a whole list of things. So I get the impression that it's going to be that, give me an hour in the game and I will get used to it. And I also have the impression that with what we saw isn't enough to judge, because we saw a level 1 rogue. We didn't see a level 30 mage, warrior, and rogue.
Right. Some of the people I've heard talk about it were just concerned that they were moving away from the CRPG route. But again, I said my feelings on it.
I
I-
think it's. Go ahead.
I was just overall I just like it. All the games have been pretty different gameplay wise. Like it'd be weird if it was the same
Yeah.
in some ways. But also it looks good. I like the way the gameplay sometimes it crosses into a cutscene. Like it's not just shot, right, okay, bounce, kind of cutscene. There's characters posing, blah blah blah. It
Yeah.
looks very fluid.
It's smooth.
Yeah, I think it does. It's a lot more fluid than like the previous games. I think you can go in and out your action bar fast enough, and also just looking at it, you was able to cut the gameplay video. You can switch between targets a lot easier. That by itself is also just really nice. And also, as long as it's not like my biggest complaint has always been like Dragon Age 2's combat, which it was it felt clunky rather than fluid to me in that one. And as long as I never went back to that and kind of stayed to more almost a tactical style, I think I will prefer that personally.
Now, did you play
Yeah.
on the console or on the PC for DA2?
I played both.
See,
In
on console for me, I thought DA2 was pretty fine.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
I
got
played
used
it
to
on
it.
PC, and I was like, oh no, yeah, no.
I got used to it. I played all the games so far on Xbox console systems, and I got used to the gameplay. My favorite was Inquisition, but I got used to all of them.
But yeah, no, for Inquisition, I still use Xbox controller. So
I see for DA2, the reason I didn't like it because it seemed like it was way too over the top and flashy in that one.
yeah,
And that's another thing, like that, like just how it aesthetically looked. I was like, it doesn't match the world that we've pretty much been in so far. But the how it looks, like just how the combat looks in this one, it looks like it's natural to the world. It looks like it actually flows very well, and that's by itself just an overall improvement. Like
Mhm.
what Inquisition did
Yeah.
was amazing. I like that, but this one seems a lot simpler and involved.
Yeah, I like that. I know like a lot of people are upset by we've got fewer like ability slots. Kind of, you have like 3 or 4. I can't remember which. But I think it encourages you to be a bit more strategic. Like, oh, I need to put that. I'm going into this area where these kinds of enemies are going to be. I need to be smart about what I have equipped and what's going on. I think it just kind of encourages you to think a little bit harder, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, it's a
And I
different
think-
strategy.
yeah, and I think they said that we're gonna have an ability wheel like in Mass Effect, where we pause combat and we can choose. I like that. I mean, people are gonna like what they like and not like, and there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, I am glad to see the series going in this direction. It feels more like Don said, natural to the world.
Yeah, and I did notice and read about all the, they mentioned a lot that this is based on Mass Effect, and this is like in Mass Effect Andromeda, and this is like in the Mass Effect trilogy. And so a concern that I personally had was, is this Dragon Age a la Mass Effect, or just taking what works best but still has the full-on Dragon Age feel? And I get the impression after seeing the gameplay that it's Dragon Age. They just took what worked from the games, from previous games, and implemented that in the Dragon Age way to make it work the best it can be.
That kind of leads to the next big talking point, which is linearity. They said they're stepping away from open world, and this is much more linear. To me, when I think linear games, I think of like the previous Halo games or the Call of Duty campaigns, or even Half-Life 2, but that's, oh my god, that's so old at this point. Oh my god, that makes me sad. Where, it guides you along a narrow path. But the more I thought about it, I was like, okay, well, most of the Mass Effect games and really Dragon Age Origins, they were pretty linear. Like you could choose which hub areas to go to, but then, for the major quests, yeah, they kind of guided you along a narrow path with some optional forks.
And they,
Like,
yeah, and they do mention that there are some hinterlands type areas, and it makes me think of Zelda games like Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask or Twilight Princess, where Link can go anywhere he wants, but he's not going to be able to activate that owl if he goes there before going to another area. You can still go there, you can still explore and meet people, but then you have to do the other parts to unlock what you need to unlock for the story. So the story is more linear, but the world is more explorative.
And I thought when they said that, I kind of feel like they were more kind of addressing, like, I think the big question or the big concern we had, like with Inquisition, where again was the hinted problem, where there was a bunch of side quests, a bunch of things to explore, and I think they're saying that to say, hey, we're not gonna have like herd the Druffalo again.
I love that
Like-
quest.
It's the first time, but after because again, every time I played through it, I do every quest, But I'm tired of the Druffalo. Druffalo one was the most, but that's my. I think that's the concern they were trying to address. Like we're going to kind of narrow down your side quest a little bit to where it's not overwhelming or it's not taxing or anything. I think that's they're addressing that specifically.
Even if they narrow down the side quests, I'm still gonna get lost down the beaten path trying to gather elf root.
Yeah.
So no, like still have it to where it's like somewhat open world. Still let me explore everything. Yes, 100%. I love that. Just don't give me the Truffalo again.
No, exactly. Let's herd less Druffalo, find more treasures, and but I like the idea. What I'm hoping they'll retain from Inquisition is, you know, you had those areas where you got to activate those torches in a certain order to unlock a certain secret, or you got to collect certain bottles, or, you know, so collections and different things like that. I hope I enjoyed that. I
That I'm okay with. I'm okay with the collecting and the puzzles and everything. That's cool. That's perfectly fine. Especially if we're in like the Venter and everything. I expect there to be some kind of ancient magic that we can unlock in puzzles. So I want that.
I agree. My only issue with certain Dragon Age puzzles is when it's pure trial and error.
Yeah, but then once you get it, if they have that golden thing again where you activate it and all your collections from the previous games you acquire, that would be practical.
I would prefer just New Game Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also want those puzzles and everything because they also has hints of lore in each of them.
Yes.
So I'm like, that's definitely another reason why I want the puzzles and everything back. Just like, just give me breadcrumbs.
More puzzles, less Druffalo.
Yes.
Or at the very least, if you're going to do something like that with the side quests, like let it influence certain decisions. Like have the side quests be like kind of like their own pocket main story where they enhance something towards the side that you can always come back to.
Like you get an extra dialogue option if you've completed it.
Yeah, like
or complete a certain amount of quests in a certain area and gain this faction as an ally.
Oh.
I imagine it's going to be more. That's going to be like the main quest focus.
But I want them to have impact on like what you're doing, like make it matter if you're doing all these side quests.
Oh yeah. Like the only one I can think of off the top of my head is By the Grace of the Dalish, where you have to do some favors for the Dalish in order to recruit the one guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like expand upon that idea. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, there is one other topic that I don't recall.
Okay.
Here's your topic, Cole. It was, I don't know.
Gosh, there was one more thing that I've heard some people say that the game looks kind of goofy.
Yes,
like,
I heard that.
Really?
Dorky Disney cartoon.
What?
And I just
Yeah.
look at
It looks
Solus
no.
and I'm like, is this dorky? If this Solus is dorky Disney cartoon, like, I don't know what like not dorky Disney cartoon Solus would look like, you know? It looks
I
good.
mean, yeah, some people don't like the art style, and you know that's a subjective thing. I think it looks fine, especially the in-game footage that we saw, as opposed to the trailer that came right before that.
Yeah.
I think it looks totally fine.
The lips actually move. Like when Solus says a barrack, he actually forms a B with his mouth. Like
Yeah.
I love how it looks. I don't know what's wrong.
Yeah,
I haven't
don't
seen
know.
that actually. Like I thought everybody thought it looked pretty good. It's just that first trailer that people were very
maybe it's
divided
because
about.
maybe it's because of the trailer. It doesn't do them justice. The choice of music. Maybe had it been a different theme to the music, maybe. I think the trailer in and of itself as an ensemble just got a bunch of people bleh, you know.
Yeah.
I think the only jarring thing, like, and I compare it to is like when I first saw Varric, because again he's been with us for going on 3 games now, from 2 to Inquisition to now, and you can see like the changes in Varric. That's the only thing I always find jarring, because like he looks so much different in each
But you know what? I
variation.
think that's
Yeah.
good. I think it shows the progression of time.
It does. Like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, it's amazing because you see the scars now. You see how he's aged, but
Mhm.
How
like
did he get
it's
those
just
scars?
yeah. That's just how. So I'm like, I don't like. I'm like, I read like the comic. Like, when did you get hit? Was I'm like, I can't remember a time where he had scars over his eye. I was like, I need to go back and reread everything now.
Mm.
But yeah, the other thing is just people saying in general the game doesn't look as, I guess, dark fantasy as maybe Origins did, and I have no idea what people are talking about.
Yeah.
I
I
genuinely don't.
I heard that people found that it looked a little too cyberpunkish because of Minrathous, but that's Minrathous.
Yeah,
And that
Yeah.
that's
if we look
Minrathous.
at the 2020 trailer, there
Yeah.
are areas that look elven and magical and bright, and there are areas that will look very, very dark and grim. And that's what they said also, that there are lighter areas and there are darker areas, because all light or all dark, like, you need the balance.
Yeah.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
that's one of my favorite things about when people started talking about this, it made me look
Yeah.
back at the games, and the games have always had a great balance of darkness and levity. You know, your
Mhm.
companions are often very goofy with one another, but they know when to be serious, like the writers do.
And even
Yeah.
the serious companions, they know when to be goofy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Like,
Dragon
Yeah.
Age's strongest suit has always been like their storytelling, like their character, like just how they write their characters has always been amazing.
Mhm.
But their video, like how everything looks in their world, always seems to pretty much match what they're trying to describe. So I love how the world still looks gritty and dark. No matter if it's been Rattata who looks cyberpunkish or the Elven Runes that will have that rundown. I think this game is probably the most beautiful they've made so far, just from the first trailers and everything.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
in the gameplay, when we get to Arlatan Forest, we also see, like, there are areas of the forest that seem a little bit faded in color, you know, as though that's how the magic is affecting it. And then when you approach Solus, the contrast and the brightness are, you know, it's so rich.
Yeah. I think the thing I loved most seeing is like the lighting. Like the lighting is beautiful. The way certain things are highlighted, it really does make the darkness look dark. Especially just see when the fire. I've said this a few times on the channel, but I love the part where you're running through Minrathous and there's just demons like tackling people, like and pulling them over the edges, and I'm like,
Yeah.
how is this not dark fantasy? Like,
Yeah.
it looks brutal.
Mhm.
Also, like the for that gameplay reveal, they turned off blood splatter and stuff so that you could see things better. But like, there is going to be gore and stuff. It's definitely dark fantasy they're going for. I don't know what people mean.
Yeah.
Oh, I
don't know.
like that you can turn off persistent gore. I always turn it off.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's definitely helpful in Dragon Age 2, where if you don't do it, all the cutscenes you're just
Oh.
completely covered in blood.
Yeah.
But you mentioned demons there, and that's another thing people are like, I think, on the fence about. I myself am on the fence about the demon redesign, because whenever they redesign a creature, I'm like, okay, well, are you implying this is what they always looked like? Are you like, is this a retroactive continuity, or are these just new ones?
I
I think
think, I forget where I heard it, or if it was written somewhere or someone said it in a video, but I think there are explanations, like they're enhanced by Solus, or there are explanations as to why they look like this now, but that we didn't see, because there are a bunch of cutscenes that we didn't see.
I think it's easier to explain away the demon appearance because you can always go with they are more vaporeal now that they're closer to the fade. So I think the demon redesign is a lot easier for me to take as opposed to, like, for instance, when they redesigned the Darkspawn.
Mhm.
That one was jarring. But demons, I can kind of get behind why they have a different take on a different look, because again, if they're in the fade or they're in the real world or somewhere in between, they're gonna have a different appearance on what the demon is and just location and everything. I think that's a little easier for me to grasp onto.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Well, definitely. I found that that demon in the gameplay, the Pride demon in the gameplay, while I do like the Pride demon look in Inquisition, I found that this demon looked pretty impressive.
Yeah. I like the movements. I think compared to the previous games, they were just kind of annoying enemies that walked really slowly or they just darted
Yeah.
around. I like that these ones feel ethereal, not ethereal. You know what I mean? Like they bounce around a lot. They're not quite there, but they're, I don't know. They're just very dexterous. They feel unpredictable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like they bounce in and out of the fade, maybe.
Hmm.
I hope we get to see the return of Desire Demons.
Yes.
I don't know if we want to touch that again.
Yeah, no, actually, yeah, now that you mention it, that could go into some...
Although you could, with the whole redesign of demons, you could see them again just in a different look. So
They did say that romance scenes are going to get spicy, so I don't think they'll shy away from
No,
Desire
exactly.
Demons.
Why, if
Don't know how I
there's
feel about
nudity
that.
in the game,
Yeah.
why would Desire Demons be?
Oh god.
they've ignored those for years now. It's like,
I-
nope, desire demons don't exist.
I just remembered that you can adjust things like your bust and bulge size in the character creator, and I just got scared a moment.
Wasn't
Oh god, I don't need another Baldur's Gate.
wasn't Imshile a Desire Demon? Like he calls
choice
him.
spirit.
Yes, he calls himself a choice spirit, but wasn't he a Desire Demon?
Yes, and
Yeah, I
then when
think
you
so,
fought
yeah.
him, he just took on the different form. He took on rage and pride and fear.
Not desire.
You know what?
He
I
never
like
took-
Despair Demons. I think more can be done with them.
Wait, which demons?
Despair.
Yeah.
They always just look like giant slots.
Or Envy, the Envy
Oh,
Demon
gosh.
in Champions of
freaky.
the Just. Oh yeah, definitely freaky.
Ugh.
But if they can mimic different forms, that could be really interesting.
I must say,
Mm.
envy demons could have been very fun if they kind of play with them a little bit.
Mm.
So, as far as any other general topics you're feeling about the next game, you guys got anything else?
I'm excited
All right.
for it.
Me
Yeah,
too.
it's also been 10 years, man. So
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
it's about time. Like we get it sooner than.
Oh, yeah.
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 All
I'm
right.
I'm ready.
Me too.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you all for joining us. Like I said at the beginning, if you haven't seen the other 3 parts, go check them out on these fine people's channels. All will be linked in the description. And I guess that's it for now. We'll see you later.
Bye.
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 Bye.